Report 202 to Control. Arrived at target airspace. Commencing data relay.
Affirmative, 202.
Fill me in.
The perpetrator killed the owner a few minutes ago at the first crime scene, then ran off. He was called in anonymously. At the second crime scene down that back alley, 2 cops were ambushed and killed. All access points are blocked. We'll storm in there in a couple of minutes.
Hey! Hold it, he's from Section 9. He's a cyborg cop. It's not healthy to get in his way.
Request link.
Roger that. E-Police wants us to intervene. They're asking me for a data link.
Section 9 has priority. Tell them their request is denied.
Already this week, we've had 8 cases of gynoids murdering their owners. After each killing, they would commit suicide or self-destruct, initializing their electronic brains. In each case, the model in question is a Locus Solus Type 2052, or the Hadali. It was a prototype developed for testing. They were provided for free to contractors. Now all the prototypes have been recalled. According to the most recent reports, they haven't found any defects in either the software or the hardware.
What do you know about all this?
I know that Locus Solus invented some sort of gynoid that goes berserk and kills their owners, and that the company's recalling all the prototypes. They're worried about all the lawsuits by bereaved families, inevitable liability trials, and mammoth damage awards. I understand all that, except why Section 9 is involved in all of this.
Understand, you say? Understanding is, in principle, solely based on wishful thinking. Right now, Section 9's involved for 2 reasons. First of all, not one single family has filed a lawsuit. In every single case, all the complainants have settled with Locus Solus out of court. Second, the victims include a retired public safety cop, a very high-level politician, and other officials. Because terrorism is a possible motive in this case, we need to determine if Section 9 needs to get involved in it or not. Ishikawa and Azuma are getting background checks on the victims. I want you two to check out the gynoids in question. You have your assignment. Get going.
Just for the record, I didn't volunteer for this job. 'Cause I'm not the major. I can't replace her.
No one's asking you to.
So, is she still listed as missing?
Originally, all she could call her own was her brain and her ghost. But even she wasn't certain whether they were real or not. Her electronic brain and hardware were nothing but government property, and her entire memory, including the classified information, were government property as well. The brass really only cares about one thing, recovering that memory. They don't give a damn about her life. It's not an issue for them.
So, where should we start?
Locus Solus is located in the northern frontier. First step is to check in with the local forensic boys.
What do you guys want?
We're here about the gynoid my partner took out.
She cost us the lives of 2 young officers. You're not here to ask me for her back, are you?
It depends on what we find, whether we want her back or not.
The lab is upstairs. 19th floor, go right at the end of the hall. You need me to take you up?
No thanks. I think we can find it ourselves.
When persimmons are green and not quite ripe, even the crows don't pick at them. They only come around when they're ripe. Just like you 2 assholes sticking your nose in my case.
Look, when you were back on the police force, I'm sure you didn't like it very much when other detectives came in unannounced and took over your case. Don't let it bother you so much.
That's why it bothers me. That's exactly the way I used to be.
When one's face is distorted, why should you blame the mirror?
The mirror does not help to enlighten, but rather to confuse, right?
Well, neither one of us are good-looking enough to stare into a mirror.
You can come here all you want, but I won't change my mind. I'm not chairing this investigation. If you persist, I'll have you detained. Huh?
I'm Togusa, Section 9. I believe you know my partner.
Yeah, he's the cop who blew this girl apart, isn't he? It would be easier to examine her if you'd shot her with 50 caliber rounds instead of buckshot.
She killed 3 people. 2 of them were policemen.
She was trying to kill herself before you shot her. Wasn't she?
What do you mean, Miss...
Haraway.
Miss Haraway? How would a robot commit suicide?
By intentionally malfunctioning, these gynoids can authorize themselves to attack people. Technically, this glitch would liberate them from being restrained by Moral Code 3.
Maintain existence without inflicting injury on humans. Isn't self-destruction a more accurate term, then?
Only if you wish to make a clear distinction between machines and human beings.
Are such suicides confined to a particular model of robot?
Not necessarily. In recent years, we've seen a surge of robot-related problems, especially among the pet robots.
What causes it?
Oh, we don't know for sure. E-brain contamination from microbes and viruses, human errors in the production process, functional defects from wear and tear, take your pick. But
what?
Well, I think it's because humans discard the robots once they're useless. And owners constantly trade up to newer models. Some of those abandoned become vagrant, degenerate from lack of maintenance. No robot wants to be treated like a disposable item.
That's a little far-fetched.
Humans are different than robots, but such a belief is nothing more than simply acknowledging that. It is no different than saying white is not black. Unlike industrial robots, at least the androids and gynoids were designed as pets. They have no real utilitarian or practical purpose. Why did they have to be created like a human? Particularly an idealized version of a human. I wonder why humans are so obsessed with creating robots that resemble them. Do you have any children?
I have a daughter.
Children have always been excluded from the customary standards of human behavior. Only if you define humans as beings who possess a conventional identity and act out of free will. Then what are children who live in the chaos preceding maturing as humans? They clearly differ from humans, but they definitely have human form. Little girls use dolls to play house and pretend that the dolls are their babies. The dolls are not surrogates in place of real babies. The girls are not practicing child rearing at all. It may just be that playing with a doll happens to be similar to raising children.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm just saying that raising children is the simplest and fastest way to achieve the ancient dream of creating artificial life. See what I mean?
That's bullshit. Children aren't dolls.
You see, Descartes didn't differentiate man from machine, animate from inanimate. He lost his beloved 5-year-old daughter, then named a look-alike doll after her, and doted on the doll. The doll became a surrogate.
Can we get back to reality here, please? I'd like your assessment regarding the Hadali robot, Type 2052, manufactured by Locus Solus.
Let's see. It's very well designed. I understand it's a prototype, but it's intended for a particular function.
Particular function?
It's equipped with unnecessary organs.
Meaning what?
It's a sexoid. Nothing to brag about, but it's not illegal.
Now I get it. No wonder those families settled out of court.
When it shuts down, the E-brain initializes itself. That's standard operation for protecting manufacturers' proprietary software. But
Yeah, go on.
there was one file left in the audio buffer. I'll play it for you.
Help me. 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 Help.
Thanks for everything.
Hey. I'm very sorry to ask you such a personal question, but
No, I've never given birth or raised children. And I'm not registered at the Ovum Bank either.
thank you, Miss,
Haraway. No need for Miss or Mrs.
She's not exactly your typical techie.
I bet she writes her own opinions in the columns of her reports. I used to do that.
That's why you didn't get promoted.
Anyway, we need to secure that gynoid's brain at the Section 9 lab.
Guess we're done talking to that lady then.
Why? Did she turn you on?
Yeah, she was kinda hot. What's next?
We follow procedure.
The consignment inspector, right?
09 calling 907. There's been a homicide in the boathouse at 201 Machi Street. Victim is consignment inspector for Locus Solus.
Roger, 907 out. Well, talk about timing.
A fine spring day, a carriage sprints between this world and the next. Life goes on, pal. Ishikawa, you here by yourself?
Yeah, well, Koga got reacquainted with the tuna sandwich he had for dinner and headed on back with the corpse.
Maybe he should add the chicken.
This was the scene 20 minutes ago.
You made a green rookie deal with that mess?
Hey, everything's a learning experience. This is what we got so far. The victim's E-brain verifies that he's Jack Volerson, age 54, Director of Consignment Inspection for Locus Solus. He submitted a vacation request 5 days ago and went missing 3 days ago. He rented this boathouse for a week. The murder weapon? Several kitchen utensils. Inspection of the area turned up a vehicle license linked to organized crime. We're checking it out. 7 credit cards were found in a jacket, presumably the victim's. We're investigating the transaction history. Here, .38 caliber, SW model 2602. Looks like he didn't have a chance to use it.
I doubt it would have done him much good. An illegally altered, powerful cyborg? Or maybe a professional trying to make us think he's a psycho.
969 to 906. We're 20 seconds away. Don't contaminate the crime scene.
Yeah, I know. Let's leave this mess for the Bone team. 907 to 09. We're handing the scene over to 969 Forensics. Over.
09, roger that.
Today happens to be my daughter's birthday.
That's great. Congratulations.
Can I drop you off?
I'm going the other way. Ishikawa?
Yep, me too.
Okay, your daughter's birthday takes priority.
Did you screw up my crime scene?
Wow, look. The big man himself is here.
I had to come because the corpse is missing pieces.
Take your time. We're on our way out. Have
Why
fun.
aren't the local cops doing this?
Because the old man has an interest in this case.
His organs are divided up in jars in the refrigerator. Heart, liver, kidneys, the pancreas.
Sick frickin' nutcase.
Fresh dog food again, huh? If you get the dry dog food, it'll last a hell of a lot longer.
I bet you wouldn't eat that crap.
So they got you teamed up with Togusa, huh? Well, it's certainly better than being partnered up with a green rookie fresh out of the academy.
Yeah, well, for an ex-detective, I guess he's okay. I really have no complaints about him.
Yeah, I know. The only one who ever really measured up to your standards was Major Kusanagi. Right?
Ishikawa, if you don't mind, I'd rather not talk about it. See ya.
Bato.
Yeah, what is it?
I've got some advice for you. You should really stick to the dry dog food. It's better nutritionally, and it's a lot better for the dog.
No more singing, no more laughing in the sun. River of moonshine, I hear your voice echoing, but I'm still alone.
Therefore, it was concluded that he died from a blow that severed his cervical vertebrae. The kitchen utensils were used to remove organs, not as murder weapons.
Meaning someone took their time dismembering the corpse after killing him?
It looks that way. We've confirmed that the organs in the refrigerator were the victims. They reveal early stages of gastritis and cirrhosis of the liver. I guess he was an alcoholic.
Why do you think he did that with the organs?
Maybe he wanted us to believe that he was some kind of psycho or freak.
Or maybe to make it look like it was some kind of revenge.
If that's the case, the possibility of an assassin posing as a thrill seeker is out. And what's the deal with the doorknob?
Analysis indicates a Chinese prosthetic limb, model NR-26.
The crab claw.
Isn't that for military use?
You can get them on the black market, but a lot of them are defective.
As a matter of fact, the marks on the mutilated corpse match the crab claw.
What happened to the owner of the vehicle with the criminal record?
It was hard to track him down because of the multiple illegal modifications.
And what does that mean?
We ran down the plates from a nearby parking lot. The vehicle is registered to an organized crime group called Kojinkai, which means the Red Dust Society. The car's bulletproofed with a reinforced chassis and rear shocks. It's been spotted at a number of crime scenes.
What's a cyborg need with a car like that?
The cyborg was a bodyguard that was illegally altered. You think this was a mafia hit?
But what would be the motive, and who the hell is this Kojinkai?
It's a well-established Japanese crime syndicate. Drugs, hookers, gambling, scams, anything goes. The big boss had his head ripped off by a Hadali gynoid 3 days ago. A new boss named Wakabayashi took over the operation.
There, you have motive.
He has to avenge the boss's death before he can take over.
But there's only one problem. If the victim knew that revenge was coming, it doesn't make any sense that he would hide out there in their territory. That would make him a sitting duck, wouldn't it?
His E-brain's been wiped clean. The only choice we have is to inquire into the victim's past.
Yeah, well, that's something for the local cops to worry about.
Could terrorists be masquerading as deranged robots?
At this point, there is no political link between any of the victims, so I think that scenario is improbable.
I want Bato and Togasa to investigate all these so-called berserk Hadali cases, including this one full-time. The rest of you get back to your regular shifts. Dismissed. Togasa? I'd like a word with you. Come see me. How's it going?
Well, sir, we're going to check out any links between the Kojinkai mob and Locus Solus.
I meant with Bato. Part of your job, Detective, includes monitoring your partner's emotional state.
I know, but I'm not a cyborg or an electronic neurologist.
One need not be Caesar in order to understand Caesar. You have a family, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still consider yourself to be happy?
Well, yes.
Most of us aren't as happy or as miserable as we think we are. The important thing is not to get bored with living your life or having hopes.
What are you trying to say?
It's just that lately Bato reminds me more and more of the Major before she vanished. Let no one walk alone, committing no sin, with very few wishes, like elephants in the forest.
Chief, why did you pick me for this assignment?
Because you were originally picked by the Major.
What was that all about?
Apparently, you don't need to be Caesar in order to understand Caesar.
That goes without saying. That's the one thing I have to say about the Chief. He's a master of the obvious.
You planning on starting a war or something?
You don't need to be a Yakuza to go to the headquarters of the Yakuza. But we'll need weapons, right?
Listen, I want to get something straight before we go.
What is it?
We're only gonna question them, right?
Do you like the Yakuza?
No, I hate them.
So do I.
But we're just asking questions, right?
Like I said, you don't need to be a Yakuza.
Yeah, to go visit the Yakuza. But you also said we're gonna need weapons. I have a family, you know.
I don't mind going by myself.
I'll go with you because we are partners, but promise me no shooting.
We'll go and have a little chat and try to avoid shooting as much as possible. Are you happy now?
That's all I ask.
Let's go then, partner.
What the hell do you want?
We want to talk to a guy by the name of Wakabayashi. Go get him.
Didn't you promise no shooting?
I really tried, I swear. They pulled out their guns. Go and find our guy. I'll hold these hoods off.
What the hell?
That son of a bitch infiltrated our vision!
I can't help it if you guys are a bunch of lame e-brains. What's up?
We got some narrow, dark stairs. What's the plan?
Stagger our moves. I'll go first. Cover me.
I'll go first. You're too damn big. I can't cover you.
Thanks for the gift, but they never hit their target. Hey, Wakabayashi, even presuming that your grenades went off at their most lethal range, do you really think that 2 grenades are enough to terminate an armored cyborg? You're mistaken. Now start talking. Tell me about the dead consignment inspector and your connection to Locus Solus. Look who came to the party. Bring it on, Crab. You ain't too bright if you want to dance with me. Thought you could take me? You're even dumber than you look.
They said they'd tell me where to find the consignment inspector. So we struck a deal. I've been in the joint for 3 years. I just got out. I don't know what the old boss was doing with that company. I swear. Don't hurt me.
Are you still alive, partner?
All I could see were my wife and daughter's faces.
It wasn't your wife or daughter you saw. It was the face of death.
I ordered you to conduct an investigation. I never said you could skip the paperwork and take the law into your own hands. I certainly don't recall ordering you to barge into that Yakuza office guns blazing. This isn't the jungle, and you're not Special Forces hitmen.
You're not still mad, are you?
No, not really. And I hate to sound ungrateful to the man who saved my life, but I'm just a little worried that as long as I'm working with you as my partner, I'm not going to be around for very much longer.
Look, it's only the 2 of us on this case. A half-assed approach just won't cut it. If Locus Solus has anything at all to hide, you better believe they're gonna come after us.
Is that why you put on that little show back there?
If the Chief was actually pissed at us, you and I would have already been suspended by now. Just drop me off over there. Later.
You've entered the kill zone.
Don't tamper with any of the settings on that new right arm. If you fool with it, the operating system upgrades will end up having a conflict with the weapon control system, and the whole thing will become completely useless.
If that happens, you'll reinitialize it. Hey, what did you do with my original arm, anyway?
It's history. I made certain that the organic components in this new cybernetic arm match your exact DNA.
So the more I use the new one, the more it'll feel like my own, right?
Ouch! Hey, hold on! Take him!
So the fact that you brought him here means that you must have...
Yeah, you guessed it. I broke into your place. I couldn't bear the thought of him starving to death, covered in crap, while waiting for you to come home. I may not look like it, but I'm a dog lover just like you.
But I'm the one who took him to my place for the night. My daughter really enjoyed it, but my wife's still pissed off about the dirty carpets.
So how long have you been following me?
Does it really matter?
Yes, it does matter. I'm the one that was used as a smoke screen.
If you had more experience, you would have noticed. If you want to blame someone, blame it on the Chief.
Is your dog a clone? Originals are expensive.
I heard that this breed was the first to be bred by artificial insemination.
It's really not like you to let them hack into your brain like that, and any daily routine makes you susceptible to being ambushed. That's why I told you to stick to dry food.
But he likes the fresh dog food. And that's the only grocery store around my place that carries it.
Yeah, well, those hackers had you going totally berserk. They made you shoot 5 bullets into your own arm, and if Ishikawa hadn't arrived, you would have even blown the store owner away.
You were very lucky this time. They just caught you with your guard down. I don't think anyone could hack into you again, except for maybe the Major.
I don't understand why these guys didn't just make me blow my own head off.
Because they wanted a scandal. They didn't want to just kill you. First, you barge into a Yakuza office, kill a dozen men, and send another dozen to the hospital. The very same day, you unload your weapon in a grocery store. It's only natural that we think you've gone crazy, or that your E-brain's gone haywire.
Wait a minute. The fact that they retaliated proves that this case was not an accident. We can't pull out now, because...
We would jeopardize all of Section 9, and even the Major would have said the same thing.
Here's the message from the Chief. Stay on top of it. But he's cutting off any more official support from Section 9 until you come up with some sort of material proof.
Guess we'll have to just go directly to Locus Solus then.
This assignment is top secret and the clock is ticking. We're sending you to the far north frontier.
To the far north?
You leave right away. Any questions?
No, not really. What about the dog?
What about the dog? It's ridiculous he has a dog in the first place. And of all the dogs he could choose, he picks a high-maintenance basset hound. I don't have time to worry about the dog. You two figure it out.
This is one of the largest cities in the Kuriel Islands. It was very prosperous in its heyday, but it was originally built to be one of the most important information centers in the Far East. See those towers? This city was really something. But its dubious sovereignty has made it the ideal haven for multinational corporations and the criminal element. It's now a lawless zone, beyond the reach of the E-Police. It reminds me of the belief that each element that is part of the whole body is as much an expression of DNA as the entire body.
Doesn't all that apply to beaver dams and spider webs as well?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You use your metaphors, I'll use mine. If the essence of life is information that is carried in DNA, then society and civilization are just colossal memory storage systems, and a metropolis like this one is simply a sprawling external memory.
As it says in the Bible, how great is the sum of all thy thoughts. If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand.
I recognize that. It's Psalm 139 of the Old Testament. The way you spontaneously spout these ancient exotic references, I have to say that your own external memory is pretty twisted as well.
Oh yeah, right. Look who's talking.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. We're about to fly over Locus Solus. I'm diverting the route just for you. Hope you enjoy the view. So much for the free tour. Now prepare for landing.
His legion's angel forms who lay entranced, thick as autumnal leaves that strew the brooks.
Now you're quoting Milton, but we're not exactly Satan, you know, buddy.
Bato!
You must be somebody pretty important not to address me as sir.
I know you saved me before, and I owe you one.
You're damn right you owe me one, and I'm here to collect.
Please give me a break, Bato, sir.
Oh, now you're trying to suck up and call me sir.
Please forgive me, I'm begging you. What do you want from me anyway?
I'm looking for a bastard named Kim.
I don't know any Kims, I swear. There's a lot of people with that name in this town. It's a very common name, you know.
Don't give me that crap. You're gonna tell me where he is.
I'm no snitch, you know. I'm loyal.
There's loyalty that protects secrets and loyalty that protects the truth. You cannot serve them both. So which loyalty is yours?
Look, I'd like to help you, but I don't know nothing.
I'll ask you one more time.
I don't know the guy. I told you I don't know anybody by that name.
Life and death come and go, like marionettes dancing on a table. Once the string is cut, they easily collapse. And?
Kim used to be a long-range military scout. He's what they call unfit as a commander and unfit to be commanded. While he was bouncing around between special ops and electronic forces, he somehow got drawn into the nefarious world of black market weapons, and his reputation after that soon went down the toilet. And in the end, he just wound up being a typical hacker.
The guy had quite a past, didn't he?
But no matter how far a jackass may travel, it will never return as a horse. In his case, his downfall came when his reach exceeded his grasp. Let's go.
Bateau! The study is on the top floor. Well, I guess it looks like we must have arrived a little too late. Proactive firewalls must have zapped him hacking in somewhere. In any case, he sure doesn't look like he would have been a lot of help to us.
The deceased firmly declines any offerings of fresh flowers or birds released in his honor. Right.
Hey!
Looks like he's dead, right? Well, he doesn't fool me. Even Confucius says you should never pretend to sleep like a corpse. I don't have time for any of your stupid little bullshit games, Kim.
Long time no see. Since that landing operation in Nemero.
Yeah, I'm here on a job.
You mean Locus Solus? They came late into the robot manufacturing business, but expanded rapidly once they focused on high-end gynoids. There are whispers of links to politicians, bureaucrats, even crime syndicates. Wary of local regulations, they moved production to a factory ship anchored in international waters outside local jurisdiction. They produce mighty fine dolls.
Are they fine enough to murder humans and then commit suicide?
If that's true, it's very uncultured of them. I don't understand those who want to replicate humans by breathing souls into dolls. The definition of a truly beautiful doll is a living, breathing body devoid of a soul. It's nothing but an unyielding corpse, tiptoeing on the brink of collapse.
Or reduced to a ravaged body with an e-brain. Is that the reason?
Humans are no match for a doll, in form or elegance. You see, my dear Bateau, the inadequacies of human cognitive ability are the cause for the imperfection of reality. Perfection is possible only for those without consciousness or with infinite consciousness. In other words, dolls or gods.
Can we get down to business now, Mr. Kim?
Actually, there's one more mode of existence that is equal to dolls and deities.
Are you talking about animals?
Yes, I am. Shelley's skylarks, for example, are suffused with a profound instinctive joy. Joy that we humans can never know because of our awareness of our own mortality, making joy more elusive than becoming a god.
So because of your emotional needs, you decided to become a doll? Is that what you're saying?
Confucius says, without knowing life, how can we know death? It's rare to find any human being who understands death. Most face death not with preparedness, but with ignorance, because that's their experience. In other words, people die simply because it's inevitable.
But a doll doesn't have to concern itself with that. And that's the reason why Kim chose to evolve himself into a complete machine.
And?
He's what they call unfit as a commander and unfit to be commanded. He somehow got drawn into the world of black market weapons, and his reputation after that went down the toilet. He wound up being a typical hacker.
The guy had quite a past, didn't he?
But no matter how far a jackass travels, it won't come back as a horse.
Hey, what are you doing? We should go. Bateau!
The deceased hereby proclaims that on this day of this month, I have attained my own celebrated death.
Hey!
Truly disturbing, isn't it?
Not if you understand it.
You doubt whether a creature that certainly appears to be alive is really alive. Conversely, you doubt that a lifeless object might actually be alive. The eeriness of dolls comes solely from the fact that they are completely modeled on human beings. In fact, they are nothing but human, really. They make us face the fear of being reduced to simple mechanisms and matter. In other words, they make us face the fear that fundamentally all humans belong to the void.
Enough of this. Let's get down to business, Kim.
Science, seeking to unlock the secret of life, also brought about this fear. The notion that nature can be calculated inevitably leads to the conclusion that humans too can be reduced to basic mechanical parts.
Metri said the human body is a machine which winds its own springs. It is the living example of perpetual motion.
The modern technologies of robotics and electronic neurology resurrected the 18th century theory of man as machine. From the time computers have made eternal memory possible, humans have pursued self-mechanization aggressively in order to expand the limits of their own function. Determined to leave Darwinian natural selection behind, this human determination to beat evolutionary odds also reveals the desire to transcend nature, the very thing that gave birth to humankind. The mirage of life, equipped with perfect hardware, is the very source of this nightmare.
God is everlasting geometry. Let's go!
Bateau!
You feeling better now?
What just happened?
You just had a whole maze of virtual experience hacked into your e-brain. Just as luck appears in threes, so does misfortune. Because you don't want to see it, you don't see it coming. Even if you notice it, you don't say anything. Even if you're told, you don't listen. Then boom, the end comes. In our world, if you miss the first sign, you're dead, let alone all three signs. I told you before, I don't have time for your stupid bullshit, Kim.
When did you figure it out?
You know the old expression, no one's easier to trick than a trickster? You may be some kind of an electronic warfare specialist, Kim, but you seem to forget that I'm an intelligence expert as well. And besides, I've got a guardian angel looking over my shoulder who helps me out in situations like this. Dig up the Hall image in your external memory database. The word A'Mayeth means truth of God. Jacob Grimm wrote that with that word on Gollum's forehead, the Clayman lived. But if you remove the AE from the beginning of the word, it becomes Mayeth, which means death. That word made Gollum return to clay again, and that's how I knew what I saw wasn't true.
Someone broke through the firewalls I devised? That's absurd. No one could do that.
You're wrong. Someone did do it. My guardian angel. The game's over, Kim. It's time you started talking. You know you're starting to piss me off. Now knock it off. The next bullet in my gun is yours.
Bateau, are you certain that this is not an extension of false illusions generated by virtual signals?
My ghost is whispering to me, if that's what you mean.
Humans are nothing but the thread from which the dream of life is woven. Dreams, consciousness, even ghosts are no more than the rifts and warps in the uniform weave of the Matrix.
I'm just a worthless human being, just like you are, Kim, but we wear very different shoes and walk very different pathways. Of course, for those people who don't believe in ghosts, there's always a convenient insanity or schizophrenia for that matter. At any rate, the little that's left of your original body will not self-destruct immediately. It will continue to function only physically until the time when your suitable death comes to meet you.
Are you sure we're actually back in physical reality?
Well, there's no way to distinguish reminiscence from true memory. And whichever they are, they can only be understood after the fact. The passage of time itself can't be stored, so it's difficult to discern. Unfortunately, it is inevitable now that we have e-brains and share eternal memories. However, the real question is, are the memories real or have they been put there? Does your wife and daughter truly exist? Are they waiting for you at your house? Or are you actually still single, living in a room somewhere, just dreaming of having a family? Do they exist in reality, or is it just your reality? Don't you want to verify which is actually real?
If you knew this, why didn't you say anything?
Because I wanted to ascertain his motives. Kim set up the trap knowing full well that I would come, inserting the virtual experiences to turn us away, and that's about the gist of it. When Kim hacked into me in the grocery store the other night and made me blow away my own right arm, he must have planted something in my e-brain. Remember when we were talking and Ishikawa told you that not many people could pull something like that off on me? I'm pretty sure Locus Solus felt the same way.
So you anticipated all of this?
I was just going to jump in deep by pretending to fall into his trap. That was my plan, but Kim was pretty skilled, and without the signs in the hallway, I may not have figured it out at all.
And what about the guardian angel you were talking about before?
Well, seems she's vanished again. Somewhere beyond that rift in the weave of the Matrix. Or somewhere on the vast net. Just merging along with the entire domain. There are as many paths to proving your existence as there are ghosts in the entire universe. You've got your daughter, that's your proof. And I'm certain that Kim knew all about this stuff when he was back in the jungle.
Well, at least there's one thing I've got figured out.
What's that?
Only that I'm really not cut out to be your partner.
I thought we worked well together.
I don't want to sound like a whiner or anything, but I'd like to stay alive long enough to see my daughter.
Fine, but I still need you to work long enough to earn your salary.
You still want to keep going? Don't we have enough information from Kim's e-brain to nail Locus Solus?
No, we can only prove that he interfered with an investigation, that plus the ethics violation. Besides, our investigation is officially off the record. So if we're going to make any of these charges stick in these gynoid murder cases, we need to find some material evidence, otherwise all this was for nothing.
So what do we do? Kim is a dead end now.
No, not really. He's just out. His e-brain's been ghost-packed, and it's still connected to Locus Solus. We're gonna have to hustle and catch them with their pants down before they can clean everything out. There's a good old saying that goes something like this. When there is no right or wrong, it's time to beat the drums and attack, right? When talking doesn't work, it's time to break shit up.
Hey! This isn't gonna be like barging into some Yakuza office again, is it?
Well, if I were you, I'd bring more than your Matteba. Birds see refuge high up in the heavens. The fish, on the other hand, dive deep into the sea.
I've made contact with the escort.
Roger. I can't believe a big guy like you decided to dive. It's so deep here that if you sank, even we'd never be able to retrieve you.
I used to know this cyborg. She used to love to go diving.
What about it?
I never knew what she was thinking.
I don't know what you're thinking. No one ever comes back from that ship alive. I'm only helping you because you're a friend of Lynn's.
Well, I appreciate it. Let's go to that ship.
Hold on tight.
In 12 seconds, you'll trip their sensors. I can send you a couple of seconds of camouflage signal.
Roger.
This guy Kim has a direct connection to the E-brain of the Chief of Security. Initiating synchronization.
I'm in. Forward the vessel data. Download completed. You got my vision in your sights?
Of course, we're recording. I wouldn't miss my mentor's assault for anything in the world.
You're a real smartass, you know that?
I learned from the best.
Infiltrator detected. Rebooting Level 2 security system. Review status of all onboard E-brains. Scan for matches in memory usage and virus size. It may be a latent virus. Cross-monitor.
Logical contact with Chief's E-brain denied.
Reformatting procedure engaged.
Rebooting of Level 2 security system complete.
Creating detour to divert infiltrator. Rebuilding logic firewall. Loading antibodies.
Scanning viruses.
Response team prepare decoys for ambush. Deploy all latent viruses along firewalls.
Security wall 014 breach.
Error type 280 in security wall.
Quarantine affected areas. Rebuilding level 1 external security wall. Intruder detected. Transmitting counter-virus.
Pull out, Togusa. It's too dangerous beyond this point. They'll fry your brain.
Not yet. I can go a little further.
Don't be an idiot. You pull out of here right now.
Life and death come and go, like marionettes dancing on a table. Once the string is cut, they easily collapse.
Illegal access at Hadali Gynoid final production area. Suspect unconfirmed latent
Discharge
virus
vaccines
attack.
to thwart intruder.
Affirmative. All systems activated. Cannot establish logical contact.
Currently loading combat robotics control software.
Secure arms. All security personnel, secure arms and investigate immediately. Warning. Warning. Abnormality on the TH-07 line. Secure arms.
Oh crap, there's another one!
What took you so long?
It's been a long time, Major.
Or should I call you that? How should I address you now?
To be precise, it's just a fragment of me downloaded via satellite. This gynoid's e-brain lacks capacity. It can only handle the combat robotics control system. This is the best I can do for facial and vocal expression. There should be an emergency access terminal 50 meters down this passage. If you can infiltrate that, we'll take over the whole system. You haven't changed a bit, Bato.
You go ahead and be the point man. I'll cover the rear.
Just like the old days.
Who can gaze into the mirror without becoming evil? A mirror does not reflect evil, but creates it.
Hey, no time to be philosophical now. We're running low on ammo.
Therefore, one should have a glimpse in the mirror, not stare into it.
Hey, isn't that risky?
It's just until I shut down the operating system. Plug into the auxiliary inputs in the floor. I have to gain control of this system or this gynoid's non-functional. I'm counting on your .30 caliber arm, Bateau.
My brain can control the firing, but I've only got one clip left. And I have my doubts about going hand-to-hand with these gynoids.
Here we go.
Illegal onboard breach of main system.
Security breach, isolate access point, engage
Multiple
proactive
camouflage
firewall.
signals identified. No fluctuation in any terminal.
Outside access detected. Terminate all external network links. Disengage external inputs.
Emergency control system not responding. Remote ignition impossible.
Diffused viruses coalescing. Breach in system area firewalls.
Preparing system reset. Isolating level 1 data.
Multiple illegal accesses in core system. Countermeasures ineffective.
We're in control. All external links are severed. The ship is now standalone.
We're moving?
Yes. We're heading south, leaving international waters for sovereign territory. This entire ship will be the material evidence that proves Locus Solus's involvement in these crimes.
They'll come after us.
Before they can, we'll have a police vessel escort us. I already called it in. But more important than that, don't you want to see the Locus Solus technique that infused the dolls with souls?
Don't you already know?
You've got a hunch about this too. Right?
It's totally silent. They must be blocking off all electric waves.
Ghost dubbing. In animal experiments, they discovered that mass replication of inferior copies was possible, but the technology was later banned as they found out that the brain of the original being was destroyed.
Locus Solus brainwashed these girls that were supplied by the Kojin Kai mob, dubbing their ghost onto gynoids. It was the ghost that made Locus Solus's gynoid so desirable.
Help me.
all here to rescue me? Mr. Volkerson promised me that the police were coming to rescue me very soon. I was stage 4. But my friend Solana, you see, she's already at stage 5. She can't hear anything and never answers anymore.
Volkerson, the murdered consignment inspector, revised their ethics code. Exposed, the Yakuza took him out to avenge the death of their crime boss. That's probably what happened.
He told us if the robots made trouble, someone out there would notice. Then someone would come and save us.
I didn't think that there were any victims. And I'm not just talking about the humans. What about all those dolls out there right now who are endowed with human souls?
I never wanted to be a doll. I want to go.
We weep for the blood of a bird, but not for the blood of a fish. Blessed are those who have voice. If the dolls could speak, no doubt they'd scream, I didn't want to become human.
Can I ask you a question? Do you consider yourself finally happy now?
A nostalgic value, I suppose, to be happy. At least I am free of dilemma now, and that's nice. Let one walk alone, committing no sin, with few wishes.
Like elephants in the forest.
Bato, always remember, whenever you access the net, I'll be there, by your side. I'm going now.
She showed up on that ship. Your guardian angel, she showed up there, didn't she? You're not gonna tell me? What do you think, I'm gonna put it in my report?
I'll pick you up at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I really owe you one for looking after my dog for me. Thanks a lot.
If you would like, you could come in for a bit.
No thanks, it's not my bag to hang out with other people's families.
Daddy! Daddy, did you remember to bring me something?
I didn't forget your present, see?
Yay!
Follow me to a land across the shining sea, waiting beyond the world that we have known, beyond the world that dream could be, and the joy we have tasted. Follow me along the road that only love can see, rising above the fun years of the night, into the light beyond the tears, and all the years we have wasted. Follow me distant land, this mountain high, where all the music that we always kept inside will fill the sky, singing in the silence war. Our heart is free while the world goes on turning and turning, turning and falling. Sky, singing in the silence war. Our heart is free while the world goes on turning and turning, turning and falling.